All right, guys, we have Marlon. Please raise your hands if you have questions for Marlon, and let's get started with Anik.
Marlon, Anik Subramanian, Fightbook MMA. Nice to see you again. Marlon, you fought the best in the world in the UFC and the PFL. Based on both organizations, who was your hardest fight?
I think every fight's hard, You can't say one fight was easier than the other one, because until you get to exchange blows inside the octagon, you don't know how hard they hit, how fast they are. And I respect everyone, and I think every opponent was hard.
Got it. Thank you. One more question from me. I know you probably need a finish to get to the playoffs. Are you going to be fighting a little bit more aggressive than usual in this fight, knowing that you're trying to get to the playoffs?
That's my style, that's how I fight. And let's go. Let's see what happened. But that's what I do. That's how I fight.
Excited to see you fight and put on another war. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Jake Davis.
Hi, Marlon. Just the first thing I have to ask you there is, since you did lose your last fight in the season, do you feel any extra pressure to get a finish and to score big so you make it into the playoffs?
Every fight, that's a pressure, You always want to win, and you always want to finish. A fighter like me, I like to finish fights, and I don't see any difference. Every fight is a pressure. But that's my way. That's how I fight. I'm aggressive, and that's how I'm going to fight. And I'm going to definitely put on a show.
What are your thoughts on Gabriel Braga, your opponent this weekend?
All right, Jake, I'm so sorry. Did you have a second question?
Yeah, I was just asking I was just going to ask Marlon, what are your thoughts on your opponent, Gabriel Braga?
He's a tough opponent, aggressive fighter, just like myself. And that's great, that to guarantee we're not going to have a boring fight.
So Gabriel this weekend, he's only had 10 pro fights, but he is 10-0. You, on the other hand, you've had over 30 fights. You've been a champion in World Series of Fighting. You challenged for the title in the UFC. Do you think your experience is going to pay off against someone who's had so few pro fights?
It's definitely what I think. I think I can use that inside the fight, but we are both good fighters, but I'm ready to win.
And last one for me, can we get a prediction for the fight this weekend?
I believe I got all the tools to win this fight, no matter how, I want to get my hand raised and put on a show.
Okay, thanks, Marlon.
Yeah. Marty, King's Court.
Hey, Marlon, Marty from the King's Court MMA here. Do you see any specific holes in Gabriel's game that you think you can exploit this Thursday?
He's a very good striker, but he never faced anyone like myself. I believe I can use my speed against him, and I think it's one of my biggest advantage in going into this fight.
And has there been any adjustments that you've made in camp just to change up for Gabriel's style?
I'm always trying to improve in every fight, and we are never good enough, and I believe I am better everywhere, and I'm a well-rounded fighter, and I come very well prepared for this one.
All the best.
Thanks.
Danny Segura.
Hey, Marlon, how are you?
I'm good, man.
I gotta ask you, you're not in the best form of your career right now. Obviously, you've had some setbacks. So I'm just wondering, like, mentally, how has that been as an experience to deal with? Obviously, there's social media, fans, journalists, etc. How has this whole process been for you, continuing your fighting career in this form?
It's the other side, I've been on both sides. It's not easy to deal with but that's what I choose to my life, be a fighter and challenge myself against people that they are just as prepared as I am. And I'm not in a good time, like you just said, the results are not coming, but I always believe the next one, I'm going to definitely put in a great performance and I'm going to win. And that's how I face this time. And that's how I believe I'm going to beat this moment.
Yeah. And what's kept you going? What's sort of been motivating you throughout this process, right? Because a lot of fighters, when they meet a lot of adversity, maybe they just think, hey, maybe it's time for me to hang up the gloves. What has kept you going? What has motivated you to get back in the cage?
It's not the time, I know it's not. And that's not the way I want to leave the sport. And that's not the way I want to leave the PFL. I signed with the PFL with a mission. I want to put in performances. That's what I'm here, put in great fights that people going to be talking about. And that's not how I want to go. And today I do that and I see myself fighting, and that's going to be when I want to leave. I don't want to leave this way.
Yeah. And on an ideal world, how would you like to leave MMA? Like, is it just this season, finish out strong? Do you want to leave on a win? What exactly does the end look like for you on an ideal world?
It's hard to predict the time, but I definitely want to live in good terms, winning.
Yeah. Well, best of luck and looking forward to your fight.
Thanks.
Patrick, Dana.
Hey, Marlon, how are you doing today?
Good.
Good to hear. So you've always, the thing is with Brazilian fighters, a lot of other Brazilian fighters don't like to fight other Brazilian guys unless they have to. But throughout your career, you fought a lot of Brazilian guys. What has been your mindset towards that kind of like narrative of Brazilians don't really like to fight Brazilians?
We got to fight everyone, and when you fight for organization, like the biggest organizations in the world, you want to be there. You want to be fighting. And it doesn't matter who you're competing against. You're defending your team. You're defending your goals, and that's how I face it.
Okay. So after all these years, you've almost done everything you can in the sport. Has it been hard to almost like keep up with that like motivation to like stay, motivated to fight guys that are 10-0?
I love this sport. I love to be locked and competing. And I really don't care who I'm fighting. I just want to keep fighting.
Awesome. Have a great fight, Marlon.
Euro.
Hey, Marlon. Obviously, you just discussed about your setbacks in your last couple of fights, but what would a win mean for your career and you as a competitive fighter?
Back, gotta hit that switch, and just have a different mentality, and a mentality that, man, okay, I did it, and think about the next step. Next step is always get better. And I'm on a mixed. I'm still in the game, and I'm prepared, and I'm ready to get that win.
And did you get to watch back Gabriel's last fight against Pinella? And where do you rank him amongst your opponent list?
He's a good fighter. I know him. He's a talent guy, and he's pretty good everywhere. But I believe my game, my skill set, I can beat him.
Thank you and good luck.
Thanks.
Jay Christian.
Magic Marlon, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
I'm doing all right. Jay Christian Gary, your Focus Fights Audio. I just basically want to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, as everybody else mentioned on this panel, you're currently going through a few setbacks right now. As a matter of fact, you're 0-6 in your last 6 fights, dating back to your time inside the octagon. But considering the fact that you fought in this particular promotion before, back when it was known as the World Series of Fighting, for the last couple of fights, what do you think has been the biggest difference from your days in the PFL Decagon, in the WSOF Decagon, to your last 2 fights in the PFL Smart Cage?
Man, it's different, you know. The people that were here before, they were great, but new people coming in and they add a lot. They're putting a lot on the table, and I see the PFL one of the top promotions by far, you know, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy to see that baby growing. I'm here right now, and I'm definitely so happy to be with these people.
Understood. Well, your next fight is going to be against an undefeated opponent in Gabriel Braga. It's also going to be on the preliminary portion, at least in the United States, on ESPN Plus. For those that are actually going to go out their way to watch this, even though it won't be on regular television, what do you hope fans will expect out of it?
Fans gonna see fireworks, you know. My fight, I never been a boring fight. So let's kick off and let's start the main card. When people watch my fight, they're gonna be so pumped. Hopefully the main card's just as good as my fight.
Okay, and one more question. When it comes down to your career, I know you basically said, oh, I don't want to end my career out on a loss. Let's just say, if you were to win this fight in impressive fashion and then go on to win the PFL championship and you do decide to put the gloves in the middle of the cage and call it a career, what do you hope people will remember about how you fought, and what do you hope to inspire to the young guys that are following up on your career?
I'm a hard work guy, you know, and I never give up. And I want to leave to people the legacy that guy, when he was fighting, everybody stopped to do what they were doing and they were watching, you know, that's it.
Okay. Other than that, muito obrigado, Marlon. Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
No problem.
Adriano. All right, Gavin.
Okay, hi Marlon from Airtime with Gavin here. So obviously you're 8th in the standings now. Is there a worry that throughout the night you could be stuck under the playoff spots and then you're going to need a first or second round finish? And if it goes to the third, you're not going to reach it.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I understood the beginning.
So obviously Maryland's 8th in the playoffs. Throughout the night, if you are still underneath the playoff spots to go through during your fight, if it goes to the second or third round, will you start to worry about missing out on the playoffs?
If it goes into the later rounds, will you be worried about making enough points to get to the playoffs? Will you start to worry during the fight?
A fight is a fight, you know. It's the opponent across that smart gauge with the same will that you know. And of course, I want to finish, but I want to win. And when you are inside the octagon with someone, and you can't think, oh, I'm hurry, I gotta hurry, you know. It's just a fighting, you know. It's just a fight. I'm gonna be in a fight, and of course, always when you're in a fight, you want to finish.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Adriano.
Hi, I want to ask Marlon in Portuguese because it's for Combate Channel in Brazil. Marlon, prazer estar falando contigo. Queria saber primeiro o que significa essa luta para você nesse momento da sua carreira. Quão importante é para você essa vitória na quinta-feira?
Com certeza, é uma luta muito importante para minha carreira e não estou vivendo um momento muito fácil, é um momento muito difícil. Desde que saí do UFC, tive dois resultados que não vieram para mim e eu preciso dessa vitória, não só como atleta, mas para minha carreira mesmo. Eu vejo que eu não quero sair do jogo desse jeito e eu quero vencer bem e quero provar para todo mundo e que eu ainda estou aí nesse jogo, nessa disputa. Eu vejo condições totais e estou muito preparado e espero conseguir o meu objetivo.
nesse momento, Marlon, uma vitória, né, como os colegas falaram, você precisa vencer por uma finalização ou nocaute para garantir uma vaga nos playoffs, mas isso é uma preocupação para você no momento, ou o mais importante para você nesse momento é simplesmente vencer a luta?
Eu quero muito vencer, quero muito me classificar, mas eu respeito o jogo, a luta. A luta se faz de duas pessoas, dois oponentes, e a gente tem que ser inteligente o suficiente que nesse jogo, quando você quer muito matar, você acaba morrendo. Lógico que o meu objetivo é vencer bem, mas com inteligência. Se for por pontos, vou ficar muito feliz. Se for por nocaute, eu vou ficar mais feliz ainda, ou finalização.
Última coisa, rapidamente, você acha que o peso-pena, lutar no peso-pena, está sendo melhor para você? É melhor do que lutar no galo? Ou você prefere estar mais magro como lutando no galo?
Nesse momento da minha carreira, eu acredito que sim. Eu não tenho sofrido para bater esse peso e eu quero, com certeza, continuar nessa categoria.
Muito obrigado, Marlon. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Thank you, Marlon. Appreciate you.